2 of the 30 Minutes of Yoga for 30 Days Cancer Research event. I hope you enjoyed week 1. I'm joined this week by Lynn again, lovely Lynn. I'm going to work through another 30-minute routine. It'll be lovely and gentle-ish. As before, please grab a cushion or a blanket, a drink if you need, anything that can help you when we're in some of the postures, whether it's seated or whether we're bringing our hands towards the floor, just to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. It's always nice to have something under your bum if the hips are tight as well, rather than sitting on the floor. So let's get straight to it. We're going to start laying down. Any comfortable position for you. So whether you want to take the legs out straight in front of you, lots of space between the body and the elbows. Hands can be by the side, palms up, or they can come back onto your belly or your hips. If your lower back doesn't like that, you can take your feet nice and wide and just let the knees fall together. Or you can even just sit up. Just do what makes you feel relaxed and comfortable, which isn't the easiest to achieve. I do appreciate that. But once you're there, you can spend a few seconds, even a minute, just wriggling about and getting your comfortable position. Maybe taking the neck from side to side. You can roll the shoulders until you find that place where you can appreciate just a little bit of stillness. And just start focusing on your breath. You can close the eyes down if it's comfortable, but you don't need to. If the eyes are open, just gently focus on the spot in front of you. And it's so normal for thoughts to overpower you when you're laying down or sitting down and not moving. If that happens, just try and bring your thoughts back to your breath, back to how it feels, back to how your breath moves in your body. And it could be that every second a thought will take over and you pull it back to your breath. It doesn't matter. The more you practice it, the easier it will get. Just keep pulling yourself back into the now, back into what you can feel and what you can hear. Feel the ground underneath you. Try and relax your shoulders a little more as you breathe out. And even though we're breathing all day, every day, it's so typical that we breathe high up in our chest. We forget how to breathe. So when you inhale now, try and inflate a little bit lower down into those ribs, all around the middle of the body. Just bringing the breath down from the chest into the ribs. And if you do manage that, you can try and go even further down into the belly. So that you're inhaling and the whole of the front of your body, the whole of your torso, from your groin to your throat, is maybe just inflating as one beautiful movement. And if that doesn't work, you're not judging it either. Just keep breathing and paying attention to your breath. That's all you need to do. Noticing what your body is telling you, where you can feel sensations, maybe it's a mental, emotional, physical sensation, whatever it might be, that is where your exhale goes. That is where you take the breath. Just creating a little space there. And just before we start to move, I want you to try and think about something you're grateful for today. Just one thing. And it can be as simple as food in your fridge at home, or access to clean running water. Starting our practice from a position of gratitude, and the more grateful we are, the more happy we are. Just before we move, let's take a really big inhale and sigh it out. Gently bring the knees into the chest. Don't worry if the knees won't go, you can just leave them on the floor, just take them wherever feels good for you. Try and keep the neck and shoulders really relaxed, all the way down on the floor. And keep your breath filling up all across the front of your body, so you haven't started holding your breath now that we're moving. And you can feel the back ribs pushing down into the mat as you inhale as well. And when you're ready, we're going to take the arms really wide. If your hips are tight, cushions may help here, because as you drop your knees over to the right hand side, you can place cushions between the thighs or underneath, and you can also take your feet further down the mat if the hips are tight. But you're trying to find softness across your chest and your shoulders. Your gaze can go over to the left if your neck feels okay with that. And you're taking big, lovely belly and rib breaths on the inhale. And on the exhale, you're melting down your left shoulder to the floor. We're going to do 2 more breaths here. As you bring your head back to centre, gently bring your knees back in. Do whatever feels good for your back. And we're going to take it the other way. So knees over to the left. And your gaze over to the right as you start to melt down. The ears are away from the shoulders. Your neck finds a nice comfortable position. Your feet can relax. Your knees and your hips can relax. Remember, you can take those feet further down the mat. The hips are tight. But breathe. It's your breath that will find space, whether we're in an intense yoga pose or we're relaxing. It's always going to start with that breath. And we're not still, even when it's a stillish pose. When you inhale, your whole chest lifts, the whole body lifts a little. And when you exhale, everything can soften. As you bring your head back to centre, bring your knees back to centre and give yourselves a little rock and roll. And then you're going to take your feet onto the floor. Okay, you can be careful with the lower backs here, because we're just going to start with a little core work. We're going to fire up through the tummy. And so that means bringing the knees back into the chest. And your knees are quite far into the chest if your lower back isn't happy here. If you want to take it a little bit more challenging, you can take the knees away from you so they're over the hips. But to do that, there's no arch underneath your back. There's no air between the lower back and the mat. You tuck your bum up and under to seal that position underneath the lower back. That keeps it safe. Maybe take the arms up so that you're not tempted to push the hands into the floor. And if this is too much, just bring the knees closer to the chest. And all you're going to do here very slowly with a breath is inhale, exhale, take the left toes to the floor. Inhale, centre, exhale, the right toes down. Or you can reverse the breath if you'd rather exhale as you lift. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're moving, as long as your tummy is in super tight, you're trying to tuck your bum up and under, you will feel the work here in your core. And you're trying to keep your mouth, your jaw, your teeth, your neck, your shoulders relaxed. This is pure core work and leg work, and you're taking it slowly and with your breath. Amazing, well done. Bring it back to centre, hug those knees in, take a little rock and roll. Okay, if you want to carry on with that move, you can do. If you want to take it up just a little, you can lift your head and shoulders off the floor, and you're lifting the chest to the ceiling. You're not looking forward and tucking your chin down into your chest. It's very much a lift. And maybe both feet tap and both feet lift, or you can do one at a time, or you can drop your head. Lots of options, depending on how your core strength is today, but that tummy is in tight. You're connecting your lower back to the floor. Lots of space between the chin and the chest, and you're moving with your breath in your time, and it's shaky and it's intense. Inhale, force the breath in, fill up those lungs. And breathe, breathe, breathe. 2 more. You're doing amazing. You can take a break whenever you need. And hug it in. Oh, that fired up the core just a little bit. Well done. Let's warm up our backs. Bringing the feet onto the floor. So the knees are in line with your hips, so you haven't taken the feet really wide and the feet aren't together either. There's something like a couple of your fist widths between your feet. You can walk your feet a little bit closer to your bum. You're going to gently place the hands on the floor and you're going to drag your shoulders down away from your ears. Coming up really safely. If you lift here and your back doesn't like it, then don't do it. Just take a nice relaxing pose here. If you want to push the feet into the floor and lift up into bridge and see how that feels. And once you're there, you're going to tighten up through your bottoms. You're going to pull the tummies in and you're going to still draw the shoulders down away from your ears. And just see how this feels. And you're feeling the whole of the foot on the floor, so you haven't rock and rolled the feet one way or the other. You haven't allowed the knees to turn out or in. We're really trying to keep it in line and straight and strong. And you're inflating the ribs on the inhale, and then the exhale is finding space. One more breath. And on the exhale, gently taking it to the floor. Notice how your back feels. If your back didn't like that, then don't advance this pose. Just enjoy a relaxation here, or you can gently pop a cushion under your bum and take a bit of a supported back bend. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you're going to lift up again and maybe extend the left leg forward. This is really intense, so be careful. Notice if that left hip has dropped and you've twisted, and that's not good for your knee. So see if you can squeeze the butt cheek of that left leg that's extended, and maybe just lift and lower, not too high. And if this is too much, you just bring it back to your bridge where both feet are on the floor. We're just doing 2 more. And we're breathing and we're relaxing the upper body. And release. You can take the bum to the floor if you need a break, or your right leg is coming out. Squeeze the right butt cheek to keep the hip nice and high. Relax the neck and shoulders. And breathe. This is really good for firing up the glutes, the butt muscles. And we need to fire them up in the right order, and this can really help with that, which then can support your lower back and your hips. 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And bring the feet down and gently lower down. Oh, now enjoy a big breath. Enjoy the space that you have in the body. Notice how you feel. After that, that can be quite intense, maybe a bit warmer. Maybe you can feel your heart rate beating a little more. And then when you're ready, hug the knees in. Now let's rock and roll to come up. Whew, warm it up. Let's come over. We're going to come on to our tummies now. And we are going to work our back just a little more, but in a different way. So we're going to lay on our fronts. And if you have a look at my toes, this is what we call tucked toes. So if it's comfortable, untuck them so that your toenails are in contact with the floor. And then you're going to place the forehead on your hands. You're going to lengthen the legs away from you so your bodies are really nice and long. And then you're going to start squeezing your hips down into the floor and squeezing your butt cheeks. Because by keeping this middle band nice and active, it's going to help protect the back as well as strengthen. Then from here, you're going to take an inhale, and your exhale gently lifts the head off the floor, but the head stays in contact with the hands. So you just inhale lower, and exhale lift in your own time. Keeping that lower body nice and active, coming as high as is comfortable for you, but you're trying to keep the body long to keep the space in the spine. Last one. And then take the head down. Maybe rock the hips from side to side. Amazing. Okay, so you can do that one again, or you can go a little bit deeper. And then this time you can push the hips down and start to lift the feet off the floor. So it's going to be a lot harder. And then maybe their head comes up and we're holding. Now if this is too much, you can go back to the first version. You can take the feet down, you can take the head down, or you have both lifted and you're breathing. Well done. Legs are straight and strong. Pushing the hips down. Amazing. Back of the neck is nice and long. 2 more deep breaths. And relax it down. Amazing. Rock the hips. And you can take the right knee out to the side just for a breath. That's it. And then bring it back. And then the left knee can come out to the side, and that's just releasing everything in your lower back. Well done. And then gently lifting yourself up. And we'll do some cat-cows. So these are your spinal flexions and extensions. So knees under your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And then as you lift the bum, drop the belly, gently lift the chest. Inhale. And tuck the bum under, push the ground away. Exhale. Inhale to lift the bum, lower the belly, lift the chest. And exhale, move in your own time, just doing 2 or 3 more. Amazing. And then we are going to sit back, popping the toes together, and just seeing how it feels to melt down to the floor here. You can just release the head. A lot of people will keep a lot of tension in the head. See if you can let the head go. If the neck doesn't like it, you can pop a cushion under your forehead. If the hips don't like it, you can pop a cushion between your calf and your thigh. And then from here, we're going to start working our back, and this can be a little bit glitchy in the knees, so please grab a cushion again and pop it underneath your knees if your knees don't like this. But see how it feels to maybe start lifting yourself up high onto the knees. And when we do this move, keeping the hands into the chest will make it a little bit easier on the back. If you come with the arms up, which also means forward, then that's going to be harder on your back. So I'll show you what I mean. So sitting back, coming back into child's pose, here. And then keeping the arms forward or in the chest, and that's the hard bit, is using your back muscles to lift up and then push the hips forward. So work with your breath. Breathing out. Sorry, that was in. And then the out is to lift. Inhale, child. And exhale, lift, because that's where the work is. 2 more. This is really heat generating that you can possibly feel. Remember, hands can come in at the chest. Makes it a little bit easier. And last one. Well done. Take your child's pose. Have a minute here. Big breath. And then come forward onto your hands and knees again. Let's tuck the toes. We're going to take our first downward dog. If any point today you don't like downward dog, just come back onto your hands and knees. So rounding the upper back, push the ground away, keep it safe. Then tuck the toes, lift the bum into the air and send the weight back. And you can bend your knees as much as you need. The hamstrings are tight, or your back doesn't like it, maybe you've got a bit of sciatica, whatever the issues, you adjust, you know how you feel. If you need to drop those knees, then drop those knees. Finding stillness when you're ready. Amazing. And let's walk the feet to the front of the mat. Relax the head, take hold of the opposite elbows and enjoy a dangle. So feel your belly and your ribs inflate on the inhale. Little bend in those knees. And with every exhale, it's like gravity is pulling your shoulders, your elbows, and lengthening your spine. Then releasing your hands and maybe wrapping them around your back. And if that's too much for you, just keep them in your chest. But once you clasp your hands, or you can place them on your lower back, squeeze the shoulder blades back, like you're pulling on your fingers and squeezing a pencil that would be between those shoulder blades. And maybe you can straighten the legs if that's where you want to be, but you're lengthening your chest forward and sending your hands back. Bending the knees again. This is a balance, and we're probably going to fall. Let's see if you slowly and carefully can come onto those tiptoes. This is really challenging. The higher you go on the tiptoes, the harder it is. And maybe you can start to lift yourself all the way up. Release the hands. Well done. Keep coming up. This is challenging. Amazing. And move the hands to the chest. Let the heels go. Well done. Lynn was sure she was going to fall before we started filming, but you didn't. It just shows. And we take things slowly. Okay, we're going to do some classical sun salutations. If you need a break as we're doing them, please do so. I will cue the breath to guide you how to use your breath with each move, but that might not work for you, so you do whatever feels right for you. Okay, let's inhale. And we're going to exhale and fold. Relax the head. Take a half lift. Lift the chest, lift the bum. And exhale, right foot goes back, dropping the right knee. Inhale, rise up. And we take an exhale into a plank pose. We inhale here. Exhale, drop the knees and just bring the weight forward with a little bend in the elbows. Inhale, push the ground away, drop the bum, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step the right foot forward, drop the left knee. Inhale, rise up, and we exhale to the front of the mat and let the head go. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the bum, and we take a deeper fold. And push the ground away, rise up, and hands to the heart. Let's do it on the left side. Inhale, and we exhale, fold. Nice soft knees. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the bum. Exhale, take the left foot back, drop the left knee. Inhale, rise up, keep the bum cheeks nice and firm, and then exhale to plank pose. Inhale here, drop the knees, take the shoulders forward. Inhale, lift the chest, drop the bum. Exhale, downward dog. One breath here. Then inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through, drop the right knee. You can always drop the knees first. We'll come to hands and knees, remember, rising up. And then as we exhale, we step forward, forward fold. We lift the chest, we lift the bum, and then we can take a deeper fold. Push the ground away, rise up. And hands to the heart. And notice how you feel. Well, I adjust my chocolates and tie them up because I'm losing them. But notice how you feel, your energy, your heart rate. It's good to move, and we're going to just do it a little more challenging now. So when we step back, we're not going to be dropping the knee. We're going to be staying in a high lunge if that's where you want to be. If you want to drop the knee, then do so, or join us into a high lunge. Inhale, exhale, fold. Let the head be heavy. Half lift, lift the chest, lift the bum. And then the right foot goes back. Keeping the knee off if you wish. Squeeze the hips forward, rise up. Back to your plank on the exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the knees, take a little bend. And inhale. Downward dog. Straight into lift on the right leg. Inhale. Step it forward, high lunge. Inhale, rise up. Well done. It's a balance. Step forward, forward fold. Half lift, lift the chest, lift the bum. Doing amazing. Deeper fold. And let's take a big stretch. Sorry. You think we'd have more space? No, half in the studio. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Half lift, lift the chest, lift the bum. Generating heat now. Left foot goes back. High lunge if you wish, or drop the knee. And then we're coming to our plank pose, or you just take hands and knees if you're tired. And then take your little bend. Push the ground away, shoulders back. Downward dog, exhale, inhaling straight into your left leg up. And exhale, step it through. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Half lift, lift the chest, lift the bum. And a deeper fold. Notice how that feels. Have we done the left side?
Yeah, I think.
Yes. See, I'm thinking about other things. So starting at the front of your mat, we're going to stop the flow. We've done a little bit of a warm up there with the flow, and then from here we're going to go straight into some static poses. So we're going to step back with the right foot. And then the right foot is at a 45-degree angle, but we're really pushing into that little toe edge, which allows us to keep that leg nice and straight and strong, and uses the back glute, the back butt cheek to support us. And this is our warrior one. Hands don't have to be lifted. They can be at the chest. And the front leg is bent. Well done. And we're breathing here. 2 more breaths. Trying to find space in this pose. And then all we're going to do, keeping the lower body exactly where it is turn the shoulders without letting the front knee drag into the big toe edge. So we're just turning the shoulders and opening the arms out, gazing down those front fingers to warrior 2. If that's too much for you, hands can come in at the heart, but you're trying to turn the shoulders. That really is what warrior 2 is, and keeping the space on the inner thigh. Amazing. And then all we're going to do here is come into triangles. You can place your right hand on your waist and then allow that left hand just to come to the inner thigh. If it feels okay, you can straighten the front leg. Watch that the back hip hasn't jutted out unless you need it to. Squeeze the hips to the centre of the mat and forward, and maybe you can open up the arms into a triangle. Gaze can be down, straight ahead or up. But you're really trying to make space in the chest by opening that shoulder. Well done. And you're breathing. One more breath here in your lovely triangles. And then you're going to bend the front knee, bring it down, you're going to step back into a downward dog. And we're going to try it out on the other side. So you're going to step forward with your right foot this time. I'm going to come this way so you can see both sides. And we're going to take a warrior 2 at 1. Warrior 1. So the back heel is at 45 degrees, just like it was before. And then you're rising up. Well done. Squeezing those butt cheeks. Hands can be at the chest here. Trying to square the shoulders forward, unless the hips don't like it. If you need to turn the shoulders, you do that. Do whatever feels right for you. Slight bend in that front knee, wiggle the front toes so your heart aren't holding on for dear life, but most importantly, the back of the body is being supported with that back butt cheek, with the heel and with the little toe edge. And breathe. Then let's see if we can turn the shoulders without that front knee going to the big toe edge, and open the arms out into warrior 2. Gaze down the front fingers if you wish. See how that feels. Tummies in, and you're lifting your body up nice and tall. Still working the back butt cheek. And you're breathing. And then maybe you can place the back hand on your hip and start to drop your front hand to the inside of that thigh. Well done. You can straighten the front leg, squeeze the butt under, and maybe open up into your triangle. Gaze up, down, straight ahead, wherever. Your body might not like this front leg being straight. It can be quite a pull on the inner thigh and the hamstring. So you bend that leg if you need, but you're breathing. Sorry for the noise outside. We've got people doing things in the corridor. And then bringing your hands down, step back to your downward dog. You're going to drop your knees, you're going to take the wide feet together and take a child's pose and just breathe here. Amazing, let's come onto our bottoms, let's finish with a stretch. I had a lot more written down, you forget how quick half an hour is really. So we're going to take that left leg out. And then you can bring your right foot into your inner groin. If that's not comfortable, just take it forward. And what can be really nice if you're not super flexible is to put lots of cushions and blankets underneath that knee. It can also help to lift your bum up onto a cushion. And all you're going to do here is gently allow that left hand to come down onto the left shin. And then maybe you can wrap your right arm around your lower back and open up, twisting through your right shoulder. So be careful with this. You are just opening through the right shoulder, trying to take the shoulders back and down. The gaze can be wherever your neck is comfortable. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can start to let your ear fall towards that left shoulder as well. And for the final little modification, if you want to reach for the big toe and take a bit of a deeper twist, you can do. But you're breathing. It's the breath that's going to get these muscles to relax. If we hold the breath, we're holding the muscles in a contraction, we're holding our bodies tightly, we need to breathe. Releasing that one off, let's swap sides. So the leg that's out straight in front of you, gently taking that arm out as well, maybe wrapping the opposite arm around the back. You don't have to, you can just leave it in front of you. You're just working that shoulder back, the left shoulder. Big breaths, maybe dropping the ear over towards that straight leg. Maybe taking the toes if that's where you want to be. But we're trying not to fold forward too far, we're trying to almost twist around. Careful with the back. And then bringing it back to centre. Just taking cross-legged or any comfortable seated position. Let's push the ground away with the bum. Imagine you're rooting down through your bottom. Hands in at your chest. Notice how you feel. How does it feel to breathe now? How easily can you relax the shoulders if I say, let the exhale relax them down? You can close the eyes down and just reconnect to your breath for a moment. Feeling your breath, being grateful for your breath. Gently bowing your head, bringing your thumbs to your forehead. Thank you for joining Lynn and I this week. Hope you've enjoyed the class. Namaste.
Namaste.